welcome to the next stage of the Learn and Understand Massive series. Today we're going to look at the noise and the feedback. So I've set up a quick patch here and I have activated filter 1 and put a low pass on there. And the only other thing we're going to look at today is a routing to do with the feedback. So you can see there on feedback it's got F1, it's because it's feeding back into filter 1, but we'll go into a little bit more depth, not too much, in a moment. So if we look at noise, now we'll play this little patch I've created. Okay, and if we look at the noise, and we've got white here chosen, turn up the amp, you literally add some noise into it, some white noise. As you can hear, it's quite bright. If we adjust the colour, it's essentially just a filtering system, but it helps you match it into the sound you're trying to create. So as you can hear, I am more trying to create a bit of brightness on top of this kind of melodic patch I've created. So if we just turn the amp up to a nice level, somewhere about there, and that just creates a nice little sparkle on top of your mix. I tend to use white noise and bright noise really. Really does depend on the sound you're making, whether you're making a bass, a pad. It's just all based on preference. There's nothing you should and shouldn't use. But I tend to use white noise for that, or bright noise, and it just adds that bit of sparkle on. Because if we just turn it off, it gives you that nice kind of feel back. Like if we choose, say, aluminium here, it's kind of wet sounding, it's got like an LFO wobble on it, so it's not something I would use for a synth, but maybe creatively speaking you would use it somewhere, so never think that you should never use it, because there might be something waiting to be discovered there. So we'll turn the amp back up to about here. Now we're going to move on to the feedback section. Now the feedback is determined on where it's positioned in the routing section here. So we're just going to quickly delve into the routing section. As you can see, oscillator, if we just follow this line, goes into effects 1, blah blah blah, and it has all different patterns it can follow. So what we're just going to look is oscillator 1 and 2. 1 and 2 is going to go down this list, and yes, it's going to hit noise and feedback. So to determine where the feedback hits is where we select it to hit. Now if we want it to feed back into filter 2, we click here, or filter 1 here. If we want it into the inserts, which we're not using, we'd click here, and then back into the amp and pan, which is here. So we can have it feeding back right at the end of the loop of the patch, shall I say. So, but what we're going to do is we're going to choose filter 1. Now if we just wipe that up, you can see there's not really much use for it on full there, but you can see it's changed it to F1 there depending on where its position is. Like if we choose that one there, it says pre-A. Okay, so now we've got through that, there are some creative uses you can use here. That adds a bit more body into the sound itself there. We can brighten it back up with a bit of noise, because we've kind of grunged it down and squashed it a little bit. But what essentially that's doing is the signal is coming out here, going into here. So we're hearing these two into here, because we're not using this or this. It's going down, across, into here, and then it's looping back and forth to create this feedback. Just the same principle as a microphone too close to a speaker, you get that screeching noise. It's just feedback in a signal, and we've chosen to feedback it to here. You can see it's directly affecting what we're hearing there. So essentially that is it. That is all it is about. It's all about experimentation. If we put it here, you kind of get a brighter sound because you're looping it back and forth this way. By not looping it back into there, you're looping it into the amp. So you can hear the potential for bass lines in there. You can create some really grungy, deep bass lines. It's also quite good for pad swells as well, but I'll go into that in a lot more depth when I'm creating patches for this. But it kind of adds more bass into the sound without really having to use the pitch on the oscillators. So but I will explain that in a future video. And that's it. I'd just like to say thank you for sticking around. around, and to all the new subscribers that are here. I do post videos quite often. It's just recently I've been working a lot, and that's the only reason why you haven't seen any videos, but I'm back on top of it now. There is a video on the intro and outro track that I have on each video, just explaining how I've created that, just because someone asked, and I thought I'd just share that with you. It will be released, more details in the future. There is an 8-track EP coming out. I'm really working on it with a singer and a rapper, so we're kind of throwing stuff about there. There's actually 2 singers that I'm working with. But things are very slow because we're relying on the internet to communicate, and just other commitments are slowing the process down, but there is no rush for it. But it will be here soon. It will be here this year, to be honest, I hope. But if it takes 2 years to create, it's going to take 2 years, because I don't want to rush this. I want to create a proper EP. So anyway, tune in for the next video, which will be next week. I'll see you then. Thank you for watching.